cronyism has never been more robust in the United States government than under Donald Trump. All of the promises of draining the swamp and we're going to get the swamp creatures out of there and all of this nonsense is just a weird distraction and diversion from Donald Trump ushering in a corrupt, on its face, not even trying to hide it. And this story exemplifies it like no other. If you're friendly with Donald Trump, if you're a conservative, if you're a Republican, if you're an anti-Semite, if you're a racist, if you're one of the worst, you've got a home in MAGA world. In fact, if you've lost your gun rights because of whatever charge that would disqualify you from owning a weapon in the United States of America, and listen, I know I've got foreign viewers out there who are like, what? There are reasons they would not allow you to have a gun in America? Tell me more. Yeah. If you're convicted of domestic violence, there are a number of a felon, you lose your gun rights, right? Well, Mel Gibson is one of these characters. Apparently, his anti-Semitic rant at the cops, drunk, blaming all the wars on the Jews, just classic white supremacist bullshit and conspiracy that he was drunkenly yelling at the cops like they care, or like he's on his soapbox like a crazy person on a street corner. And I don't know exactly what the charge was, and I don't think the article goes into it, but he lost his gun rights for whatever reason. And now a prosecutor, a lawyer within the Department of Justice who works in the Office of Pardons, has been let go, has been summarily dismissed because she wouldn't just rubber stamp and recommend that Mel Gibson gets his gun rights back. Her name is Elizabeth G. Oyer. She has been fired from her job, let go because she stood to slow the progress of this cronyism. I don't know her politics. I don't know if she was just appointed to work in the Justice Department or if she was just appointed to this Office of Pardons. I don't know exactly what her background is. But let me tell you, if you try to stand in the way of letting Eric Adams off the hook or allowing these pardons to take place, if you've been an impediment in any way, you will be removed by Donald Trump. If you try to slow the march of cronyism, you're going to be gone. This is from the New York Times. Here's the headline. Justice Department official says she was fired after opposing restoring Mel Gibson's gun rights. Elizabeth G. Oyer, the former pardon attorney, says she was not told why she was dismissed, but that as events unfold, she feared they might lead to her firing. The Justice Department's pardon attorney was dismissed the day after she refused to recommend that actor Mel Gibson, a prominent supporter of President Trump's, should have his gun rights restored, according to the attorney and others familiar with the situation. Elizabeth G. Oyer, the former pardon attorney, described the sequence of events as an alarming departure from long-standing practice, one that put public safety and the department's integrity at risk. Mr. Gibson had lost his gun rights as a result of a 2011 domestic violence misdemeanor conviction. Quote, this is dangerous. This isn't political. This is a safety issue, Ms. Oyer said in an interview with the New York Times as she described the internal discussions about whether to give gun rights back to people with domestic violence convictions. Ms. Oyer and her account of a series of Justice Department discussions about guns, domestic violence, and star power was confirmed by two other people familiar with the events, speaking on the condition of anonymity because they feared retaliation. This is the other element of this, is that if you speak out, right now, by the way, as an aside, related to this, but not directly, they're doing polygraphs on people within Homeland Security to try to find people who speak to the press. There's an all-out assault on people trying to disseminate truth to the media, trying to talk about instances like this. And there are few within the Trump administration who are brave enough, who are bold enough to actually put their careers on the line and be fired rather than participate in the cronyism and the corruption, like the SDNY, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, who would not sign off on Eric Adams' dismissing of that case. They would not do it. People like this, we need more of. She was one of a number of high-ranking Justice Department officials who were fired on Friday, the latest in a series of moves by the Trump administration to remove or demote senior career lawyers who play critical roles in department decisions. She was not told why she was dismissed, but as events unfolded, she feared that might lead to her firing. A Justice Department official, speaking on the condition of anonymity to describe internal deliberations, said the disagreement over Mr. Gibson played no role in the decision to dismiss the pardon attorney. A representative for Mr. Gibson did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Here's the other thing. I got one more paragraph, but let me say this. The reason they're going to be quiet, because they have no obligation to talk. Why would he talk? Donald Trump has been granted just unconditional immunity. They argued before the Supreme Court that Donald Trump could, as president, deploy a Navy SEAL team to assassinate a political rival that he felt was corrupt, and he had immunity for that. This is the power they believe Donald Trump has. The Supreme Court has given Donald Trump, even though they're still talking about prosecuting Joe Biden, but explain that if he has immunity. It's only for Donald Trump. This is absolutely corrupt, and they've created a culture of silence where Mel Gibson he doesn't have to respond. He got what he wanted. He's going to get his gun rights back. And if he committed a crime and he wanted a pardon, Donald Trump, he could just pardon him. Like he did the 1,600 violent offenders who attacked our democracy and attempted to overturn the results of an election. Tried to overthrow the United States government. All of them, blanket pardon. Even the violent ones. And some of those who got a pardon have been subsequently killed by police because of their radicalism and their actions during traffic stops. This is the caliber of person Donald Trump wants to associate with, wants to ensure is off the hook legally. Mel Gibson's another. Last paragraph here. About 2 weeks ago, Miss Oyer was put on a working group to restore gun rights to people convicted of crime, she said. That effort has been championed by some on the right who maintain that not all people with criminal convictions are dangerous or deserving of such a ban. Others contend that doing so, particularly when it comes to people with domestic violence convictions, carries significant risks. Don't you love the both siding here of the New York Times? Some people think it's dangerous for violent people to have guns. Other people say it's totally cool. That's the analysis you're providing, New York Times? That's it? Yeah. I think it's pretty well understood through research and voluminous papers on the matter that people who have a proclivity toward violence of intimate partners are, just based on statistics, more likely to commit crimes. And if you have a gun and you have easy access to violence, you make it easier. And here we go, Donald Trump. Oh, you're a 1, famous actor. 2, conservative. 3, conservative actor. Oh, what a hero. We got to get this guy a gun into his hands as fast as we possibly can. And when reached for comment, crickets. What do you think? I'd love to know. What I'd love is a smattering of communication on this matter from both Americans, but also foreign people who aren't from the United States, who do not understand our wacky, insane, disgusting gun culture in this country. Bananas. Anyway, comment below. You can call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Check out Dollemore.com. We just did a redesign. You can buy some shirts or a mug or a tote or there's all kinds of stickers. There's all kinds of stuff there. You can also link to this show, which you're already here, so you don't need a link. You can link to Brittany Page's show if you're not subscribed to her channel. Check that out. And our podcast. Anyway, I'll see you next time. I love and appreciate you very much. Be genuine. Take care of one another.